Hello, here is a quick tutorial on Blackboard Learn 9.1. Just want to go over some of the very basics. The first thing is to point out that as you're working in Blackboard, the edit mode will generally be turned on. If you want to turn it off just to kind of get an idea of what it will look like for students, that's useful sometimes. So when edit mode is on, a lot of the things that you took a few clicks or had to go to the control panel to do in Blackboard 8 are a lot easier to do in Blackboard 9.1. First of all, managing the course menu can be done right here just by dragging and dropping items in a different order, adding new items with the plus, removing or changing, renaming items with the action link button there. This indicator indicates that there are no items under course materials, so that might be a good one to delete. And this indicator indicates this is not available to students, which it's not intended to be available to students, so that's good. When you create a new one, the default is that the box for available to users is not checked. So if you forget to do that, like I keep doing, and you hit submit, it's real easy to fix because you'll see the indicator and you'll be able to say, oops, meant to show that link, and that will easily fix that. And then you can just drag and drop and put things in a different location. So the tools option there is similar to what you've seen before, so you can pick from some of the typical Blackboard tools by adding a tool link. Also, don't forget that the whole menu can be either collapsed this way and expanded, or hidden with this yellow marker and then shown again. Some important things that you will want to know how to create in Blackboard 9.1 include announcements. Announcements are very easy to create. You no longer have to go to the control panel. Just simply click Create Announcement here as long as you're in edit mode. You type in the subject as normal. These text editor buttons, though, are the improvement here. They're now consistent everywhere in Blackboard 9.1. You and your students will have the same options, which is nice. And whereas you used to not be able to easily attach an image to an announcement, here in Blackboard Learn 9.1 there is an Attach Image button. Also, I think you'll find this new mashup tool very useful to insert a Flickr photo, a YouTube video, a SlideShare presentation, or even paste from Word. You know how when you paste from Word, it adds some extraneous coding that sometimes causes problems. So if you paste after clicking into paste from Word, or excuse me, clicking on paste from Word, then it will clean up the code a little bit for you. So creating an announcement is easy, and also you don't have to fiddle around with figuring out what to put here in order to make it appear on top. Instead, I'm going to hit cancel here, but you just drag and drop your announcements using the same method that I used over here on the menu to choose which one's on top. Now, the other thing that will be different is this action link button. Just like we saw over here on the menu, there's an action link button for every item, whether it's an announcement or an assignment or whatever, and you click there to be able to edit it or choose other options. With announcements, there aren't very many options. But under assignments, for example, there are lots more options to choose from. Many of the same features you saw in the previous version. Some of the wording is different, whereas things used to be modify, now they're edit. So taking a quick look at Blackboard 8, remember we had these buttons across on the left side, and then we had to drop down this menu and see all of these options. It was very disorganized. Going back over here to Blackboard 9.1, we see that those have now neatly been organized into 4 different categories. So building content, creating assessments, and adding interactive tools are probably the most common ones you'll use. So for example, if you wanted to add an item, everything's as normal. If you wanted to add an assignment so that it would add a column in your gradebook and students would be able to upload a file, it's under Create Assessment. When you choose assignment here, I want to point out some of the nice new features. So the name and the instructions are the same, but the nice new features are being able to add a rubric. So you can select a rubric if you already have one uploaded. Let me just go over here for a second to course tools in the control panel. You can go to rubrics and upload rubrics that you may have been given or created, but they do need to be created in Blackboard at some point. So probably this first semester, most often you'll be creating a new rubric. If you have one existing, then you can select the rubric. I just want to give you an idea. So I'm going to choose this rubric, hit submit, and it's asking me, do I want to assign the maximum points possible? And sure, that way it plugs in that 50 points there for me. The default is that the rubric is not visible to students, which is not what most people would want. So you need to remember to change that to yes, so the students can see the rubric. And I just want to show you what this particular rubric looks like. I'm going to edit rubric here just so you can see. So it's very, very flexible. And what this one has, different amounts of points. You can change it to points or percents or whatever. So really you can add more columns, rows. You can really do anything you want with these rubrics. And the cool thing is from the rubrics over here on the course tools option, you can even export so you could share with other people and import as well. The nicest feature is that when you are grading, and of course when the students are turning in the assignment, you both can see the rubric. But when you're grading, it's interactive, so you can actually fill out the rubric as you're grading. That's really cool. The other thing that's new about assignments is you can adjust the number of attempts. So no more clearing gradebook attempts when a student attached the wrong file. Or if you're like me and you like students to revise something they've turned in, you don't have to create a separate assignment for them to be able to submit something twice. So you can change that now, which is really nice. And as always, it's important to enter the due dates. So let me show you how that looks from the Grade Center. So the Grade Center, as usual, is under the control panel. And the Grade Center has a new view called Needs Grading View, which will filter out only the assignments that students have uploaded files for. I'm going to take a look at the full Grade Center here. And here's a sample. I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you're grading. So these are fake students, of course, in a fake class. I'm going to go ahead and view grade details like I would normally do in previous versions of Blackboard, and then one more click to view the attempt so I can view what the student submitted. But here's the new feature. The rubric that I attached to the assignment, I can click here and simply fill in the rubric with feedback as I'm going. Now I already did this one just as an example, so there's some stuff in there. So you just type in whatever, and then it adds it up for you, and you can save that, and then it plugs it in the points there for you. So then when the student views their grades, they will be able to view the rubric as well. And then you can still add overall feedback and attach documents and instructor notes for yourself as normal. So that is nice. The other thing about the Grade Center, I'm not going to save that change there, is I like to do a quick check before I make the course available to students by going to Manage Column Organization, similar to the previous one, which was called Organized Gradebook. Same view, different name. So you can choose to hide information from your gradebook that you don't want to see, but really the important thing, I think, is adjusting the actual assignments for the students when they view them to have them in the right order. I like to put them in chronological order. So you can just drag and drop in this view to put them in the right order. The other thing I like this view for is I can just take a quick look down the due date column, make sure I got the right years, if it should be 2011 or 2012, for example. The date created column is doesn't make any difference. The points possible, I also like to just spot check. So if I found a mistake here, I would not be able to correct it in this view. I would have to go out and, of course, like always, just go to the top of the column. And now it's called something slightly different, but it's pretty intuitive to edit the column information if I had the wrong due date or points in there. That's how I could edit that. So other than that, the Grade Center is fairly similar to the way it was before. Couple of last minute things you might want to do before you make the course available to students would be under customization and style. So style allows you to change colors, change some views, choose an entry point, and put a unique banner in there that will help your students and you identify your course and differentiate it from other courses. Another way you can differentiate your course is under properties. And you can get to properties here or down here again under the control panel. So under properties, you can differentiate your course by just simply adding a keyword. Now this is of course a fake class. You would have year and semester and CRN and all that stuff. I usually just at the end add a keyword that is part of what my class is about to make it easy to pick out of the list of courses for both me and my students. But the really important thing here under properties is this is how you make the course available. So you want to definitely make the course available. I recommend making the course available, as soon as you can, because I don't see anything wrong with the students getting in there early if they want to start reviewing the syllabus, etc., or if you have some pre-course activities. Setting the duration also makes good sense. If you want to have this course disappear for students a year from now, you can just set that to happen automatically. You don't have to worry about making it unavailable at some point in the future. So those are some really important things, most importantly, making the course available. Last, I just want to mention help. So there is a help option for students, and this is a combination of the previous Start Here section, UAA resources, plus it's got the call center information. So if you do have an existing Start Here section or UAA resources section, you probably want to delete those and use this help instead. It's a little more compact. You can certainly edit this and add more to it. Notice also that it has a What's New in Blackboard 9.1 section for students, which would be helpful. So that's help for students. Down at the very bottom of the control panel, you will find help for faculty. So this help is great. First of all, we have official Blackboard help. Secondly, we have a way to contact our UAA call center via email. And lastly, we have official Blackboard video how-to tutorials. I'm going to go ahead and click on that so I can just show you. These are wonderful. So there are 3 categories: understanding and building your course, communicating and collaborating, and assessing learners. So if you pick one of those, there's just a ton of videos. All are 2 or 3 minutes, so you can just learn one little thing without taking much time, and I think you'll find these very useful. So again, from Blackboard Learn, just down at the very, very bottom of the control panel under Help. So this concludes this basic tutorial on 9.1. I really think you'll enjoy the new features and have fun with it.